We are now joined by head coach Gina Auriemma. And your first question is going to come from Douglas.
Gino, how's it going? Doug Bonjour with Hearst Connecticut Media. You had said the other day that this game was, it was unfair to kind of just put it all on Caitlin and Paige, and kind of turned out that way. How can you assess the job Kristen did in terms of hounding Caitlin and obviously sparking you guys offensively?
Well, I think the fact that there was so much hype put on those two kids, it was part of it was unfair, but it comes with the territory. I get that. But like I told the team before the game, I said, in all these matchups of players that get all the hype, it usually comes down to somebody else and something else. And I think our defense, as bad as it was at times, was really, really good when it had to be. And Kristen Williams and Avina Westbrook and Olivia, our three juniors were amazing. They just played the way you would want, your upperclassmen to play, because it was not going to be easy on either Caitlin or Paige to play their normal game. And obviously neither of them did, even though both of them played really, really well. So I think it was a well-played game by both teams, well-officiated game. We just had a little more, than Iowa did. But I could see, why they are as good as they are, and they're a difficult team to play against, that's for sure.
Thank you, Coach. Next question is from Dom.
Hey, Gina, Dom and Lori from The Current.
Hey.
So I want to ask you about Kristen. I know there have been some ups and downs with her, and I think there was a point where you had mentioned her, you thought she wasn't coachable. And I'm just wondering what that moment was like, and how she got from there up to where she is today, rising to the moment like she did.
Well, a lot of words come out of my mouth, and uncoachable probably comes out 10 times a day with every one of my players. I think the thing that Kristen struggled with early on was putting too much emphasis on her offense. That if the ball didn't go in the basket, she didn't really know how to contribute to us winning. And that put way too much pressure on her. It was like every shot, every possession for her was life and death. And there's been a huge change, probably since maybe the first or the second St. John's game at St. John's, maybe if I can pinpoint a time, when defensively, Kristen started to understand how I can impact this team in so many other ways. And today, she looked like the Kristen Williams that we saw when we were recruiting her. A kid that can make shots from everywhere, can make shots at the basket, can make shots from the three-point line, can attack you in transition. And she was guarding one of the toughest players in America to guard. So I thought this is the best game that Kristen Williams has probably played in her career. No question about that.
Next question is from Doug Feinberg.
Hey, Coach. Doug Feinberg, the AP. I got two questions.
All right.
First, was it nice to have a crowd here and actually have people cheering for you, it seemed like, in a game, which I haven't think you had much of the season? And the second question is, you mentioned how this was a good game for basketball. I mean, it was pretty well played, well officiated. Was that a good showcase for women's hoops on national television, having a high-scoring, high-entertaining game, so to speak?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that when Iowa was getting layup after layup, open three after open three. I don't think the thought came into my mind going, wow, this is great for people watching at home, you know? But given all the hype surrounding the game was really, really well played. There were a lot of great plays made. People made open shots. Big shots were made at big moments. You know, we would get up a bunch. They would make a big run to cut it. You know, it was just a really, really, there weren't a lot of turnovers. There weren't a lot of fouls. So, yeah, I think this game showed women's basketball in a really, really good light. And I'm glad there were some fans here to really appreciate it in person, because sometimes, you know, what you see at home on TV is one thing, and what you see in person is something completely different. But somebody told me this was the first network televised game since 1995, when we played, actually, in the championship game against Tennessee. It's taken a long time, huh? And they were well rewarded, and I hope we get a lot more games on national television on the big networks, you know, not just, you know, your sports networks, but you know, ABC, I think, really lucked out today.
Next question is from Michelle Vogel.
Yeah, Coach Auriemma, is this the kind of game that kind of, I don't want to sound too corny, but kind of reminds me of why you love to coach? Because to see the growth of somebody like Kristen Williams, who had so much, you know, hype and accolades, and then had to, you know, find the hard parts of the game and come through it, and then to do it today, is it kind of maybe the fundamental reason why you like coaching?
I think, Michelle, we all like to coach for the same reasons that teachers like to teach, you know, because we are teachers at heart. You know, we love when our students, when they get something and the light goes on and they feel like there's a sense of accomplishment of, wow, you know, this was really hard for me. It took me a while to get this, but I feel so good about myself that I finally got it. And you know, and you as a coach, you know, you just feel so good for them. You know, as much as you want to, when they don't get it right, you know, during the process of learning, when it does happen, it's such a rewarding feeling. And that's certainly why I coach. I don't know why, you know, anyone else does, but I'm sure I speak for a lot of coaches and a lot of teachers. And I've always said this, you know, coaches get way too much credit for winning and way too much blame for losing. You know, coaches try to do their best to give their players the tools that they need to be successful. And you just love it when players, you know, use those tools and are successful. And Kristen was amazing. I mean, she just had this look on her eye that first half, you know, when she was just, you know, it looked like she could score from anywhere, anytime she wanted. And she takes great pride in her defense now, and her rebounding, and, you know, her ability to make a play for someone else, to see things, just a whole litany of things that I've been hoping that Kristen would eventually acquire, and she certainly found the perfect time to do that.
Next question is from Mike Anthony.
Thank you. Hey, Gino, Mike Anthony from Hearst. The last few days in preparing for this game, what specifically did you stress with Kristen about the most important aspects of actually keeping Clark in check? Sometimes things are, you know, more easier said than done. But were the challenges Clark presented in the game what you expected, and did Kristen have to adapt and adjust it all along the way? How did it play out versus the preparation?
Yeah. When you're playing in a game like this against someone like this, you play the way you normally play all year, right? So for the most part this year, we've done a really good job of knowing when to switch, when not to, who to switch on, how to help, how not to. We've grown into that. So we knew that Kristen, this is your assignment. But we also knew that there was going to be a lot of switches for the good or the bad, where it was going to be someone else guarding her. And so we made it during our prep a team thing that everybody has to know. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to guard her. And there were a couple of times where we guarded her great, and she still knocked in a couple threes. So the whole thing was about this is how our team is going to guard Iowa, and in particular, Caitlin Clark. Not, hey, Kristen, she's on you, and that's it. But obviously, Kristen had the main responsibility, and I thought she did a phenomenal job. I mean, the kid still came out of there with 21 points, but she needed 21 shots to get it. So I think that's a pretty good defensive night.
Next question is from Kurt with TSN.
Hey, Coach. Kurt Burmester from TSN in Canada. First of all, welcome back. Good to see you behind the bench. Just wondering if you could comment on Aaliyah Edwards' second start of the tournament for her, and I think she's averaging 18 points a game now. If you could just give me your thoughts on how she's contributing.
Well, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. If it wasn't for Aaliyah Edwards, we wouldn't be here today. That kid has really added so much to our team. Her strength, her physicality, her toughness, her finishing around the basket, and I can't say enough about Kristen, Aaliyah rather. That the fact that she's been able to come off the bench most of the season, and then early on when we started her, she was a little bit, not quite ready, it seemed like. And now she looks so comfortable in that spot. More than anything, I think what she does is she takes a lot of pressure off of Liv, because it allows Liv to be what Liv likes to be. Liv, catch the ball at the high post, be someone who facilitates our offense, and it allows Aaliyah to, muscle her way around, because you put your best defensive big man on a Liv, and now Aaliyah is going to have her way a lot of times. And the way she runs the floor, to have a freshman like that, I can't even imagine what she's going to look like in a couple years.
We have time for one more question, and that'll come from Douglas.
Hey, Gino, Doug Bonjour again. I think after one, Paige hit a shot and she came over and slapped you on the backside. She said it was an inside joke between you and the team. I don't know if there's anything you could add to that, but just, regardless, I mean, you see the freshmen and they seem to be, playing, pretty loose, and you speak to how unique that is.
If I remember correctly, I think it was when Anna Macarat hit a shot.
Might have been.
Huh?
It might have been. I saw the highlight.
Yeah, I think Anna hit a shot late in the game from the corner in front of our bench. Anna hit a shot, and Paige ran by me and smacked me. And that was an inside joke. Yeah, you know what the inside joke was? That's more shots than Anna's made in a month. And I kept telling her, at some point, you got to make one. You got to make a couple. You got to help us a little bit. And what was funny? Both Ben, our interim coach, and Jamel both said, listen, put her in there, give her a chance, because she's going to make 2 threes in the next game. And you know what? She did. And I think Paige was letting me know. She never passes up an opportunity to let me know when I'm wrong. Trust me when I tell you that.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, for participating today. We are now joined by Kristen Williams. And the first question comes from Doug Feinberg.
Hey, Kristen, Doug Feinberg. I got 2 parts for you. First one, you mentioned just the team defense you guys played on Caitlin Clark. You were the main one, but just the team defense. And also the 30 assists on 40 baskets. That's, I'm guessing, what you guys hope for, pretty basketball, so to speak.
Yeah, the emphasis was Caitlin Clark coming into the game, so we just wanted to know where she was at all times. And I thought we did a great job of executing our game plan. And 30 assists on 40 shots, that's really good. That's UConn basketball. We're working on all cylinders tonight, so I think we just played a really great game today.
Next question is from Dom.
Hi, Kristen. This is Don Memori from the Hartford Courant. So I wanted to ask you, I know you've had some ups and downs the last couple of years and some low points, and I'm just wondering if you can maybe describe the process from whatever point there was to where it might have been a bottoming out to rising to the level, rising to the moment that you did today.
Yeah, I've had my ups and downs during my time here at UConn. Everybody knows it. So it just feels really good to be able to play this basketball game as well as I did tonight, just to show the Kristen Williams I am, because I am a complete player, and I feel like, people have forgotten that. So I'm just trying to, showcase my game as well as I can from here on out. It's a lot of hard work has been put into this. I've been in the gym, timeless hours, over the course of the year. So I've just been working hard, and I'm just happy that you guys can see the progress that I've made.
Next question is from Douglas.
Hey, Kristen. Doug Bonjour with Hearst Connecticut Media. Just kind of off of that, you obviously had embraced this defensive assignment on Caitlin. Kind of just discuss, your performance on her and kind of how challenging it was to take on a player like that.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark is an amazing player, especially being a freshman. She moves well without the ball, and that's what makes her dangerous. And we knew that coming into the game. We had to know where she was at all times while she was on the floor. But I have embraced my role on this team as a defensive stopper, and that hasn't always been the case my years here at UConn. But Coach has always been on me about, being a more complete player on both ends of the floor, and I've just been working hard on it.
Next question is from Sean.
Hey, Kristen, Sean McFarland, the Hartford Courant. Just knowing how good of a shooting team Iowa is, both from 3 and from the field in general, you had to expect, I'm sure, that they were going to go on some run at some point and get hot, and they kind of did in the third quarter. How important was it just to, expect that run, but understand that you guys just have to answer it?
Yeah, basketball is a game of runs in any game. We knew that they were going to go on runs, whether that was with threes or getting, touches in the paint. But we knew that we just had to, be poised and continue to play our best basketball on the offensive end. And we can go on runs too. And that's what happened. I feel like we responded well to their runs, and we kept it pushing.
Next question is from Autumn.
Hi, Kristen. Autumn Johnson from NCAA Digital. This game was labeled as the Paige versus Caitlin show, but you and Avina Westbrook was just shy from a triple-double. Were incredible the entire game. Can you just talk about the junior leadership and describe the endless depth of this team as you all advance to the Elite Eight?
Yeah, we're a very young team, and it's only 2 guys on the team that has been to the Final Four, me and Liv. And me, Liv, and E have, been leading this team all season as far as leadership on the court and off the court. So we just came into this game as a regular game. We know that's the media's job to, hype up the games and stuff. But Paige, before the game, she was telling us that this is a team game. Don't worry about the media. So we don't really, feed into that stuff, really. We just went out and played our best basketball.
Next question is from Pepper.
Hi, Kristen. Congrats on the win. Do you feel as if today's game was your team's most complete effort in the tournament?
Yeah. I think we've been playing well all tournament. I feel like we've been playing well as a team the entire last 2-3 games and in the Big East tournament. We're just working on all cylinders. I keep saying that. But even people coming off the bench has given us great minutes. So I'm really proud of this team and how far we've come throughout the season.
Thank you. Good luck in the Elite Eight.
Thank you.
Next question is from Donnie Woods.
Did you have a sense from the game plan coming in that this could potentially be a big scoring game for you in advance, or did it just kind of happen organically once you got on the court?
I just go with the flow of the game. The game plan was they were going to play man and zone, so we knew kind of what they were going to do. We watched film on them. My goal for every game is to just go out and be aggressive on both ends of the floor. And if I'm aggressive at all times, then most of the time I'm successful with it. So yeah, that answers your question.
Next question is from Dom. Okay, we're going to go to Charlotte Carroll.
Hi, Kristen. This is Charlotte Carroll from The Athletic. To kind of follow up on that, you've talked about just letting the game come to you and just being aggressive at both sides. How much easier is that feeling from now in the tournament to the beginning of the season? Or why do you think that's been able to flow so much easier?
Obviously it was harder at the beginning of the season because I had a lot of work to do and I wasn't really used to playing as hard as I am now on both ends of the floor. Because, last year we had Crystal Dangerfield guarding the best guard on the other team, so I didn't really have that much responsibility, I would say, on the defensive end. So as the season went on, I kind of got used to, embracing this role and being aggressive on both ends of the floor.
Next question is from Sunil.
Yes, Kristen, congrats on the win. Sunil Sundaraj from Global Women's Sports Radio. Can you just balance scoring effort today, and then the fact that you guys were able to, dominate points in the paint and with second chance opportunities, Kristen?
Yes, I thought E and Liv and Aaliyah did a great job of hitting the offensive boards. They always do a good job of doing that, but today it was great. And that's something that we needed because we got second shots, like you said. But, yeah, I thought they played a great game today.
Let's try and go back to Dom.
Yeah, hi, Kristen. I figured out how to unmute now. I know that there was a point last year or this year where Coach said that to you that maybe you were uncoachable. And I'm just wondering if you can recall that moment and what that meant, if that was maybe a turning point at all for you. And also when you kind of knew that a day like today was coming, was there something, yesterday or this morning where you kind of felt a surge of confidence that something like this was coming? I just wonder about those two moments, if there are such things.
To answer your second question, I just let the game come to me. From the Big East tournament to now, I've just been aggressive from the jump. So I'm just going to try to continue to do that, and I've had some good games. Then to answer your first question, the uncoachable comment, I would say that was definitely a turning point. Because what player wants to be uncoachable? So I really just try my best to listen to every little thing that he was saying and to do it, because Coach has coached for years and he knows what he's talking about. So I just try my best to just do what he's been saying, and look where I am now. So, that was a turning point.
We have time for one more question, and that's from Carl.
Kristen, Evina Westbrook scored her 1,000th career point today, and it seems like, she's given up a lot of her offensive game to be more of an all-around player for you guys this year. Have you noticed that? And, what's it meant for that transition, to do that transition, which isn't easy, and how much she has done for your team this year?
Yeah, E's a great player and a great teammate. She does the dirty work. She goes to the offensive board. She gets steals. She's a defensive stopper as well. It's not all about points with E. And she's a great leader off the floor. She's the mom of our team, and we love E to death, and I'm so proud of her for getting her 1,000th point. Woo.
Kristen, thank you for your time, and best of luck in the next round.
Thank you.